It's another edition of your weekly news recap on the Voice Out Digital. Among our headlines, Gambia Press Union launches $19.5 million project for journalists. NA Select Committee monitors government project. On the international headline, Nigerian fuel tanker explodes, killing at least 45. New leaders nominated to take the helm of EU affairs. Well, viewers, with this and more coming in this edition of your weekly news recap, with me, our Biva. Thank you for joining us. The IEC chairperson confirms the existence of 10 political parties in the Gambia. The chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, Ali Momar Njai, has confirmed to this medium that currently there are 10 political parties registered in the Gambia. Njai made these and other remarks during an interview with Fourier. He refuted claims suggesting that the IEC registered more than 10 political parties. Chairperson Njai said among the 10 political parties, only one is currently under suspension, which is the National Convention Party. Currently, we have 30 pending applications that request to be registered. He said that this shows that we are expecting more political parties to come forward for registration. He said he does not know whether all of them will turn up for registration before elections. The Gambia Press Union has launched a $19.5 million project geared towards promoting the welfare and safety of journalists in the Gambia. The project, funded by Civil Society in Development, is expected to last for 2 years and 6 months. Dubbed the biggest project ever, the Secretary General of the Union, Sekou Jammeh, indicated that the project aims at promoting the welfare and safety of journalists, promote gender equality in the media, strengthening professional media organizations, and to reposition the union from being a resistance movement to a proactive trade union and professional organizations. The National Assembly Select Committee on Monitoring of Government Projects on Monday begins a week-long countrywide tour on government projects. The National Assembly Select Committee is mandated to monitor and report and also make recommendations to government on ongoing projects. Dia Jahase has more details.
The community on day one visited the ongoing construction of concrete, tar roads, gutter construction and projects under the BBC and Minister of Transportation Works and Infrastructure. The team also visited the port expansion project at the Gambia Ports Authority. The community also visited the multi-purpose skiing center of former Kampama School of $21 million under the Rural Development Project. The visiting team on day two, which include expert, was led by the project manager, chairman of the project, and host of other Chinese and Gambian experts. Harry, the chairman of the project under China government. Harry, in briefing the members, said that the project started September 2017 and that it is about 90% complete. The project manager, Abdul Harim Cham, who led the community, said that the project funding stands $50 million grant. He said that the work is being fast-tracked, that is the government of the Gambia will be the responsibility for the provision utilized service such as water, electricity, internet, through NAWEC and GAMTEL as government specialist agencies. The chairman of the committee, Suleiman Saho, said the community is set out on a fast funding mission and access the level of progress made in the ongoing implementation and government projects. He said that the community is not rich but a partner in all government ongoing related projects to ensure the development and supportable of the Gambia. He said they are impressed with the level and quality of work going on at the conference center, and they will keep monitoring them to ensure that the objectives of the project is achieved. Reporting for VOD, I am Leah Jahade.
A day after being charged with murder, a former junta member, Yankuba Toure, was brought back to the High Court to face additional charges. Contempt of court is now added to his murder charge. The new charge is apparently in connection with his refusal to give testimony at the TRRC last week, claiming constitutional immunity. A letter from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs suspending Marvin Roberts, head of America Division, to return to the Gambia within 7 days has been leaked on social media. Robert faces several allegations of rape from over a dozen Gambian girls, with the Ministry of Justice announcing Monday that it is opening an inquiry into the alleged allegations. The Foreign Ministry informed Roberts that they have asked the Personnel Management Office and Public Service Commission to suspend him pending the outcome of the investigations. Robert is currently in the UK, where he just graduated with a Master's in International Law and Diplomacy at the Oxford University. The ministry asked him to return within 7 days or they will nullify his diplomatic passport. Senior officials of the APRC party have written a letter to the New York Times debunking allegations carried by the paper by one Fatou Jallow Alice Toufa, who accused the party leader and former President Yaya Jammeh of raping her. The letter, addressed to the author of the article, Doyne, accused the paper and the Western media in general of a deliberate campaign to smear the name of the party and the former President Yaya Jammeh. We now take a break, and when we come back, we look at news beyond our borders. Welcome back. A deal was reached after strenuous negotiations on nominations for 4 positions to lead the European Union, with the 5th nomination for President of the EU Parliament agreed on Wednesday. The recommendations, however, have to be yet validated by the EU Parliament. More details in this report.
2 women and 3 men were chosen following a tense European summit in Brussels. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed the choice of candidates, saying it was partly the fruit of a profound Franco-German entente. The European Commission and the EU executive body are responsible for proposing legislations, implementing decisions, and upholding the EU treaties. There are 28 commissioners and the President's term of office is 5 years, which is renewable once. Sanjay, VOD.
An attack which killed more than 44 migrants at a detention center outside the Libyan capital could constitute a war crime, a UN official said. At least 30 people were injured in the attack, which the Libyan government blamed on an airstrike by forces loyal to a warlord, General Khalifa Haftar. General Haftar's forces accused the government side of sealing the center. Most of the dead are believed to be sub-Saharan Africans who were attempting to reach Europe from Libya. Thousands of migrants are being held in government-run detention centers in Libya. The location of the center attacked on Tuesday and the information that it housed civilians has been passed to all parties in Libya's conflict, the UN High Commission for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, said. Libya has been torn by violence and division since longtime ruler Muammar Gaddafi was deposed and killed in 2011.
For some here, that dream is now over, victims of a conflict that has nothing to do with them. This is the centre just a few months ago, full of people who've spent days or weeks travelling through the desert, often in brutally hot temperatures and at the hands of smugglers. It's thought about 600 people were living here. The part that was hit in an airstrike late on Tuesday night held about 150 men, refugees and migrants, many from West Africa.
All what we know is we want UN to help people out of this place because this place is dangerous. We don't have any power to do anything. So there's small children and there's some people that stranded here. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. Like me, I don't know what to go, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go.
Hundreds of people chanted "Close the camps" in New York City's East Village on Tuesday, protesting against President Donald Trump's controversial immigration and asylum policies. The angry crowd rallied along 7th Avenue in the front of the Middle Colgate Church. Reverend Jackie Lewis, the senior minister of the church, used the building's step as podium. She declared, "How dare anybody who claims to be Christian in the name of great closed borders against people who need asylum. That's not Christianity." Some of the protesters wrapped themselves in aluminum foil to symbolize the mylar blankets given to detained migrants.
We want members of Congress not to pass $1 for detention centers where people are separated and suffering. And we also want members of Congress to go to these detention centers to see for themselves what's going on, to bear witness to their suffering and to do something about it. And number 4, we are here to ask, to urge, to demand that Governor Wolf shuts down Burke's detention center, because this is happening right here in our backyard, and it should not be. He should not be complicit with Trump's hateful anti-immigrant policies.
Shut down Burks! Shut down Burks! Shut down Burks! Shut down Burks!
The rallies are in response to growing alarm in the United States about how the President Donald Trump's government is treating detained migrant children. Protesters have called on lawmakers to take actions and to stop funding the U.S. immigration authorities responsible for mistreating them. The protests were organized by public policy organizations like Move On United We Dream, American Friends Service Committee, and Families Belong Together. At least 6 migrant children have died in U.S. custody since September, according to media reports. Sudanese protest leaders have agreed to hold talks direct with the ruling general after African Union and Ethiopian mediators urged the two sides to resume stealth negotiations about a new governing body. The Alliance for Freedom and Change met and decided to accept the invitation for direct negotiations with the general's prominent leader, Madini Abbas Madini, told reporters. One of the conditions for the talks was to reach a decision within 72 hours, he said. The African Union and Ethiopia have mediated between the two sides after tensions soared following a deadly crackdown on a week-long sit-in last month that killed dozens of demonstrations and wounded hundreds. At least 45 people are killed, while 101 others sustained serious fire burns after petrol tanker crashes in Nigeria and explodes as locals try to gather fuel. The truck overturned as it was traveling through the village of Ahumbe. Locals tried to gather up the petrol that was leaking out, but the fuel exploded. 45 people are confirmed dead, and officials fear the death tolls may rise. From the look of things and considering their conditions, many of them might not survive, Benue State official Aliyu Baba said. Baba said a pregnant woman and at least 2 children were among those who had died, and 2 firefighters had sustained serious burns. He said the blame began when a bus laden with passengers tried to pass the scene and its exhaust pipes scraped along the ground, causing sparks to fly. Police and emergency services crew were working to clear the tanker's charred hog from the road. A 14-seater bus was engulfed by the blast, leaving only 1 survivor. With that, we come to the end of this weekly news recap on the Voice Out Digital. I was your presenter, Awa Biba. Until we come your way next weekend on the same platform, have a pleasant evening.